Hey guys, I am Canney, and you are listening to the Blush and Burn Books podcast.
Welcome to the Blush and Burn Books podcast, where we spread those pages and stir up all the feels from blush-worthy slow burns to heart-pounding spice.
We're your hosts. I'm Annie.
And I'm Laura, two sisters, lifelong book lovers, and unapologetic romance enthusiasts who can't resist talking about the characters that keep us up at night.
Every week, we deep dive into a world of fiction, romance, fantasy, and dark romance, bringing you bookish topics, honest reviews, and interviews with authors who make our hearts race.
So grab your favorite drink, curl up with us, and let's get bookish.
Welcome to Blush and Burn.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Blush and Burn Books podcast. I'm Laura Eakin.
And I'm Annie Baxter.
And we're super excited to have the Miss E.L. Canney on today. How are you, my dear?
I am doing amazing. How are you guys? I'm so happy to be here.
So happy to have you on. We have been chatting about getting you on since the beginning of the podcast and a little bit before because you and I have been in contact after you released your first book, Oath of Embers.
Yes, that was back in August 2024. So, we're almost at a year now.
It's really weird to think that it's only been a year because I feel like we've been talking longer.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
I think I first saw you on TikTok. Laura met you through TikTok. And I think sometimes TikTok leads this, it lends to a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, it's just, you almost feel like you know people, even though you're not like talking to them.
Yes.
Like, it's very, what is the word I'm looking for? Like, it's very interactive. Like, you feel like there's
usually I'm your brain and I can't
think of the word
you're trying
I know
to do.
But TikTok is just thank you. TikTok has a way of just creating a different kind of connection with people.
There you go.
And you like start to feel like you like know them and you like are part of their life and you're like, but we don't talk every day, but somehow I know you.
Yes.
It's like long distance besties. That's pretty much what
I
feel is, you stay in touch, you know what's going on in each other's lives, but you're not talking literally every day.
Exactly.
It's true.
Yeah,
exactly. It is so true.
Exactly.
Well, I'm really excited to have you on today and to talk a little bit about your writing journey and what led you to start with Oath of Embers and then to progress this series, your final book, and then this event that you also have coming up. So we have a lot to go over.
So excited.
There's so much to go over. So let's start with what did you start out reading when you started getting into reading that led you into writing?
Oh, I love that question. I've been in creative writing and reading pretty much my entire life. I actually wrote my first book in middle school, which the world will never see. But it was a really fun project for me. I've written a few books that were really just more for myself. But I don't know that there's any one book. If we're going way back, I could say Dr. Seuss, but that might be a little too far back.
But I can see that though, because Dr. Seuss has like a rhythm to it and like a flow, and it's kind of like poetry in a way for like young kids, right?
In a way, Annie, it is poetry.
I know, but it just has such
it's got this
cadence to it, you know?
Right.
Yeah. It's fantasy and of course, obviously fiction and fantasy have been, a huge draw in my whole life. But yeah, what really got me to the point where I was like, okay, I've been in creative writing my whole life. I want to write a book. And now I actually want people to read it. I just got sucked into the world of Oath of Embers to start. And then, originally it was supposed to be 3 short stories in one book because I was not trying to be ambitious. And then I started writing the first short story and it ended up being Oath of Embers and it ended up being 400 something pages. I don't even remember now. So I was like, well, I guess it's not that short. My characters have a lot more to say than I was originally allowing them. And it essentially snowballed from there. So the 3 short stories that were meant to be in the first book, just to give background to all of the main characters, ended up creating what is now 3 interconnected standalones in the beginning of my series.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I think it's awesome.
I love this concept that you've come up with. So what gave you the idea to write Oath of Embers?
I just had this yearning for a book that I really wanted to read to start, because there's so many amazing books out there, and I've found I obviously have a million on my bookshelves, but I wanted to read a story that had an adult character who was already fierce and strong in her own right, and I wanted her to go on a journey of self-discovery that made it more relatable to real life. Like, for example, my character in Oath of Embers is Serafina, and she really struggles with high functioning anxiety, essentially, which is really
Totally.
resonates with me. And like imposter syndrome and not feeling like she's worthy of certain things, but then also having a very strict boundaries and loyalty and what's important to her, and obviously morally grace, so like kind of dancing on that line. But I just wanted to write a character that was romantasy, which is my favorite genre, and strong female characters that aren't, it makes more sense for them to become such an amazing powerhouse because they've already started from a place of strength, and they just continue to grow and evolve that, and it really resonated with me. And so all of my characters have some level of that and some form of like mental health that they're also trying to work through, and some trauma that they're trying to overcome. So it feels relatable
Yeah.
in the way it's like helping you come on a journey that you can feel relatable to, but you're in a fantasy world, so you kind of get the
I
best.
know. I'll tell you what I really loved about Serafina is that even though she had like some like anxiety type issues or like feeling overwhelmed sometimes, like but when it counted, she was capable of like digging deep and like being that strong person that she needed to be, like in those moments that she needed to have it. And I think that's like resonates a lot with like probably women in general, I would hope. Like just that like we all have like these like things we have to like overcome, but when it really counts and like when we really need to be like strong, like we can like pull that out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. It's like this well inside you where you think you just
Yeah.
can't take it anymore, you can't do it anymore, but you do it anyways because you know you have to, and there's people counting on you, and you're just going to do it.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly. And she really embodied that. So I think you wrote I really enjoyed Serafina as a character. I like calling her Sarah for short. Like
Yes.
that's one of my favorite things.
Only her friends do. So,
Yes, only her friends do.
Oh, when he called her Sarah the first time and she was like,
I
"Excuse you."
know.
yeah.
I
It
know.
was so great.
Excuse me? Why
Yeah.
do you think
So
you get to call me that?
You don't get to say that to me.
I know. I know. Well, what is okay, since we're talking about Oath of Embers, and you talked about how they're interconnected standalones,
mhm.
who is Oath of Starlight about?
Oath of Starlight is about Nixara, and Nixara is, the best way to put her is an unhinged princess. She's not your typical princess. This is not like a Cinderella cute little starlight magic story. Her magic can actually destroy the realm if she can't keep control over it. And essentially one of her problems that she has to overcome is that her mind is being twisted and warped, and there is this being that's trying to take over control of her body and her power. And she was essentially doomed from the day of birth. She wasn't supposed to be born, and you learn a little bit more about that as well in her journey. But yeah, she goes through a completely different kind of metamorphosis of this character. I mean, each book is set in their own realm, so there's different world building. They have different bodies and characters and creatures alike in all three of the books. But there's some realm travel, as like a spoiler alert there, because each one of them is in their own. The main overarching theme between the first three books is they're all trying to find each other, essentially, but even though they don't necessarily know who each other is yet, they just have different motivations for finding the doorway to the known realms, is what I call it. So by the time you get to book four, all of the characters will come together and solve all the problems that they've ended in their cliffhangers in the
Yeah.
first three books. So you can start your journey anywhere in the series, but you will need to have all three read before you get to book four, which I am working on. It has not published yet.
How
Ooh.
hard is that to like try to take like three separate stories and like pull them all together, but then like listen, hats off. I think that's really cool. It's a lot of work.
It sounds like a lot of work.
A lot of note taking. I have
Yeah.
so many notes, and I do have like an outline of everything from the whole series from beginning to end to the outline of each book. I'm semi type A. I'd say I'm like a borderline type A and type B because I can be messy and disorganized in some things, but I'm very like organized and anal about other things. So yeah, I just stay as organized as I possibly can. I mean, it's a lot rattling around in my head, but it all makes sense to me. And then a lot of times what helps me kind of dial it back in before publish day is like my beta readers and my arc readers, because again, it is a lot of world building in a lot of different realms. And so sometimes they'll call me out and say, hey, this might be slightly confusing to people. I'm like, thank you for letting me know. So feedback has been amazing and huge. So big shout out to my beta and arc readers.
I love that. When you're going through this though, and because right now in Oath of Embers, you have Seraphina and Kaylin, and they have their point of views.
Mm-hmm.
Nixara and what's her, is that going to have a dual point of view as well?
It might be a spoiler if I tell you the name. Another male character, sure.
Just because, well, it's already out. Book 2 is already out for Starlight. So Nixara and
we'll see.
What's so just saying 2 point of views there.
Yeah.
So dual point of views in both. Sure. I'm assuming you're getting dual point of views in Oath of Alchemy. So how are you going to make the point of views work for the 4th book?
That's an amazing question. I have asked myself this question. Serious. I will say so far that I have outlined in book 4 what I'm toying with is having parts. So part 1 of book 4 will be from Oath of Ember's character's point of view. Part 2, Oath of Starlight, and part 3, Oath of Alchemy. So all of the characters will still be interacting in the book the entire time. But to keep things organized and making more sense for the reader, my plan is to have parts to the book, so we're not scattered across 8 points of view throughout the entire thing. It's going to be like a chunk of 2, a chunk of 2, a chunk of 2, essentially. That's my plan as of today.
I mean, that's a pretty good plan.
So tricky though, because it's like, I love having multiple point of views. Like, there's nothing better than having like a male POV that like it just adds to the story. Like, I mean, I can do one POV if we have like a faint of, or if we have our FMC and it's her point of view the whole time. Like, I'm fine with that. But man, adding a male POV in there just adds to the like
deliciousness.
Yes, yes, the intensity. I mean, you can change your intensity with that, and you can make the angst so much more. And I mean, that's what we're there for, right? Like,
well, and I feel like men just kind of needle us. You know what I mean? And so like switching into that male point of view of just kind of like needling the FMC, I really like that.
Oh yeah, for
like,
sure.
I'm just gonna scratch that a little more. How much closer can we get you to the edge?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I
love it.
Good angst.
Yeah, so lots of views, definitely some of that, and all of the books, really. I do try to add in some element of humor and sarcasm everywhere. I mean, most characters have a little bit of spice in them at some point, just from a personality standpoint. I think it keeps things interesting.
For sure.
We're here for it.
They totally do. Okay, so Oath of Alchemy comes out on
August 1st.
August 1st. I keep thinking in my head 2nd. I don't know why. I think I saw somewhere the 2nd, and so it hasn't left my brain, and so I keep thinking it's the 2nd. But it's the 1st. It's the 1st. Have you thought about trying to do these in audio?
I have. I want to. I'm like on the cusp of being there. But because I do still work full time and I do this and I run the book convention, like my time is limited. My goal is next year, 2026, either have the first 3 in audiobook or at least starting somewhere. I do have a couple narrators.
Do you sit down and you're like, I like this voice. This sounds like so-and-so. Have you already? I've watched you. I bet you already have people picked out. Like, I can totally see that. You're like, I know who this is.
There's one narrator who's amazing online. His handle, I believe, is Draven Dreadwolf. I asked him to do the prologue for Oath of Alchemy to kind of tease the book out. So I don't have an audio of Oath of Alchemy, right? But I wanted him to kind of tease out the prologue because it's fairly short, but it's
fantastic.
His voice is incredible. incredible. Like, I think he could do any male voice. He could do like the evil male creature. He could be the male protagonist, antagonist, anything you want. Yeah, he's love his voice. Check him
Was
out.
That's
that like
exciting.
kind of hearing that come like Laura has dabbled with some writing, and she had a prologue done, and I will tell you, what was that like I heard hers and I was like, oh my god, like
it's very surreal,
very
to have
surreal
like your words read back to you in that way.
Like, what was that like to hear that prologue through somebody else, like pushing it through? Like, have you had that before, or was that like your first time like hearing your words kind of come through someone else's voice?
It wasn't the first time. I have had narrators do snippets of like Oath of Embers and Oath of Starlight, but it was the first time hearing Oath of Alchemy, and I wrote a very interesting prologue. It's not your typical prologue. It's not like you're in the throes of the story. It's setting you up for the story. And so it's very mysterious and it's very intense. And hearing the inflections in his voice, you could tell he really grasped the concept behind the words, if that makes sense. Like, he understood the feeling that I needed to invoke from the prologue. And so just hearing that blew me away. Like, I expected to hear his voice and it'd be cool and everything, but how he said the words was what really got me. And that was surreal.
It's the craziest feeling. Like, I just remember getting like massive chills the first time and being like, oh man, I wrote that.
Yeah.
I wrote that. I did that.
You're like, oh my gosh, those are
and then you're like, thank you, narrator. You did such a great job.
Oh my gosh, I tag him every time. I've done like so many videos. I'm like, if you need a narrator, he's amazing.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to tell you too, something that I absolutely love that you did with Oath of Embers. So you sent me a PR box for this edition, and I was super grateful and so excited. This was the art card.
Oh, love it.
So beautiful. But there's something you did that I love, and it's the backside where you included the map.
Love it.
Because I use this as my bookmark.
Yeah.
So if I needed to reference it, I used the map. And I had a couple of people ask me how important a map is. And I'm like, I really like it. And they're like, should I do like a big post? I'm like, no, this. So I tell people all the time, if they ever ask, how would you have this done? It's this. It's a character art with a map on the back.
So
literally
simple, but
print, and I just created the art and I submitted it. Like, I nerded a little too hard, I think, to the like little close to the sun. So I do I do all the design for my books, and I create the maps through an amazing software called Incarnate. And so I just, I make fantasy maps for other authors as well. I've got a few.
You're like the map queen now.
Yeah, they look fantastic.
Thank you.
It's been fun to watch, actually.
Thank you.
I think it's like so creative. Like, it's got to be like a really cool creative outlet to be able to like do some of that.
Yeah, it's really fun.
I love this. One of my children wants like a projector that's up high that projects the map down onto like a table. Have you seen these? Like, I live in a world of D&D. So like I have children who are 19 and 20, and I have multiple groups of children. And I say children, they're older, but they come to I probably have like 2 to 3 groups a week come to my house and like hang out in this like room that's like created for like fantasy. Like, they are going on a journey, and it's like, and so he wants this like really cool projector so that he can make maps and put them on the table so they all know. So they can go down the whole journey for their RPG that they're doing. So that's my life.
I love that.
I live in the fantasy world all the time.
I live closer to you. I would join.
It's all D&D.
We could do a fun one. I think that we should figure out a way to do this even online, where it's just like authors and readers, where it's just like, all right, we're playing D&D, and like each month have a new author create us a new world. I think this needs to happen now.
They have the platforms where you can do it online. It's kind of cool, actually.
I know. They're awesome.
But I mean, I live in a creative world of fantasy, and everything has to have lore at my house, okay?
There has to be lore behind everything. If there's a name, there's lore behind someone's name. Like everything has to have lore behind it.
That's how I feel
That's
writing.
great.
I'm like, if I
That's
pick a name, there's
Oh,
like,
for
if you
sure.
look up the meanings of the names of my characters, it tells you
yes.
more about them. Like, it's like a teaser.
I love
I
it.
love it.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's let's talk about a little bit maybe about the okay, so like they're different realms. So each book is a different realm,
Uh-huh.
right?
Yep.
Did I get that? Okay.
Correct.
So I kind of got some like Vikingish vibes a little bit from Oath of Embers. Is that kind of maybe what we're like it felt a little bit like Vikingish
Yes.
esque. Is
Yeah.
that true? Okay.
Oath of
Okay.
Embers, I always tell people it's Viking inspired. I don't want anyone to think I'm actually writing about
No,
Vikings
but
actually
it
went.
has those little like sprinkles of it in there that help give it
Absolutely.
that grit that it needs because like it has like a grit to it. Do you know what I mean? Like the world does. I love it.
Yeah, it's cast in a perpetual winter, and so it's not a very forgiving
Yeah.
landscape, and so that obviously creates some issues for them. But yeah, each realm is completely different. So like Oath of Starlight, that realm is mostly water with some large pieces of land, of course, but it's mostly about bioluminescent water and certain creatures there, and they kind of go on their own adventure. And then Oath of Alchemy
Cool.
is set in an enchanted forest. So it's like steampunk fantasy meets enchanted forest and Oath of Alchemy, which I
So
because
excited for that.
yeah, and since it's coming out in August, I was like, a lot of people don't know a whole lot about it just yet, as beyond just what I've been saying. But there's like a masked MMC in this one, and he's mute and he cannot speak with his words, so he must speak in other ways. And our FMC is an alchemist who's on the run essentially from doing some unaliving that she wasn't supposed to do. And then, of course, goes on a wild adventure where time is warped and you can't really trust everything you hear and see throughout the book. And you'll have a few plot twists there at the end. So,
So cool.
yeah, I'm excited about it. It was fun to write. I mean, I obviously still writing the series, but it's certainly been challenging for me as an author too, because they're completely different realms, but they have all these interconnected, you know, instances without giving away too much, that I also have to weave throughout the entire series. So when I was writing book 1, I had to be thinking about book 3 and book 4 at the same time. So it's fun.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. I'm excited to keep going. Like I said,
Agreed.
me and Laura finished with Oath of Embers and we're moving on. So we're gonna keep going down our journey. Does the series have a name?
Yes. It's
What's the
the
name?
Eternal Oath series. So each
Okay.
title obviously has oath in it.
Yes.
Each one of these oaths is part of the eternal oaths in the
Perfect.
metaverse or whatever you want to call it.
Awesome.
So yeah, you learn a little bit about that in each book. So by the time you get to book 3 and then of course into book 4, you'll know a lot about that lore and that history behind why that is.
Cool.
I love it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this con though.
I know. I've been holding back because like I keep wanting to dive into it, but I'm like, because I'm so excited. This is like such a fun new thing that's happening in the book world, you know?
I love all these little events that are popping up too. So tell us about this Fantasy Forge event that's happening in Tennessee.
Absolutely. So Fantasy Forge Smoky Mountain Book Con is happening November 8th, 2025. It is a one day only, but we're packing a bunch of amazing things into that one day. So VIP start at 10 a.m. They can enter the convention space. 11 a.m. general admission can start. So we do have the 2 ticket options there for the day part of the event. That runs until 6 o'clock. We have 65 plus authors and vendors. We have a bunch of interactive activities and things that you can do while you're there, such as face painting, and you can get hair tinsel, and you can do a make and take station, and we have photo op stations, and we also have a big stage at the convention center, so we're gonna have panels running throughout the day. You don't have to worry about running from one room to another or booking this or that. We're just gonna have it all in the big main space there with some seating in the front. And but we also have some important areas like a game and chill zone, so for our lovely friends, family, partners who maybe don't want to be there shopping all day but the other person does, you'll have a lounge space there. We'll have a nursing mother's privacy fantasy area. We'll have safety and security. So it's everything from fun and fantasy and excitement to also making sure the logistics are taken care of. Like everyone's going to be safe and happy, and we're going to be in a welcoming, inclusive area. But also for the evening, we have an Enemies to Lovers After Dusk event. So we've got a DJ, we've got drinks and refreshments, we have some cosplayers who are going to be showing up for us. They're going to be doing some giveaways and raffles. So it's a full day of all kinds of fun and amazing things. All the details are on the website. So if you just look up fantasyforgebookcon.com, you will find all of the information there. Of course, my socials as well. If you look up EL Canney or Fantasy Forge BookCon, it's all the same on all the platforms.
We are so excited for this event for you because we've known about it for a hot second, but we're so excited to see how this all comes together and how it flourishes for you, and how the way you've spoken about it in the Smoky Mountains of Tennessee, and the way that it looks like it's all coming together looks absolutely stunning.
Thank you.
I want to know what sparked this idea where you're like, I'm going to do this. I want to know what crazy thing happened, or what you were just like, oh my gosh,
I can do that.
We can do that, or I can do that. I say we because me and Laura, we do some, like every once in a while, I'm like, oh my gosh, we can do that. Like we're capable of it, you know? Like,
yeah.
Like how long ago did this like spark start to like happen?
I'd say probably almost a year ago now. Right after I published Oath of Embers, I started going to more book events, right? As a reader and as an author. And the more I went to them, the more I was like, well, I could do this, and I could make it even more exciting. Like, it's not that any of the book events that we're going to were terrible. It was just, I was inspired to be like, well, why couldn't I host one? I mean, I'm an indie author. I don't know many book events that are hosted specifically by indie authors. I know a few, but it feels less and less and more like just event planners. And I mean, I've been in the hospitality and tourism industry my entire like professional career as well as marketing. So I have a background as far as event planning and things like that go in general. But I was like, why don't we have stuff like this in the Southeast? All these really fun, exciting events are all over the country, it feels like, but the Southeast. Like there's maybe one or two, and it's once a year. And if you want to do anything else, you have to travel to Timbuktu. So all of these things were rattling around in my brain. And I was like, I have this very maybe unhinged perspective of myself and my abilities, and was like, well, if they can do it, then I can do it. That's just my mentality. I'm like, if they can figure it out, I can figure it out. I mean, this wouldn't be my first rodeo. It's just my first official book convention. Yeah. So that's essentially where that came from.
Annie has that mentality too. I can do that.
It's gotten me into DIY projects that never got finished, but
that's what it does to me.
Detriment.
No. I agree. I remember the minute I got put on some ADD meds, my husband was like, oh my gosh, we don't have any like half-done projects anymore. This is like really strange. Like, what happened with like coming home from work and me just being like, by the way, today I started to do this, and I'd put like a hole in the wall and he'd be like, yeah, that's not good. But I think that the coolest thing I think about these book conventions that are happening is that I've found that people want to conjugate, like people want to come together to appreciate the same things that they love. And I don't know if some of this stemmed from some of the stuff that happened in 2020, or like, you know, some of us being like a little bit more confined to our homes. Like, I don't know if like we just had this like great need to just be like, I need to find my people. Like there's just something about the book community that's so much fun, where when you find someone, or when you read a book you love, you just want to share it. And finding the people who love the same books you do it's like opening up a whole new space. It's just so cool. I mean, we experienced it with a book club that we started in, that's just local, and we were surprised at how many people wanted to actually come together physically in person, because like I think that's just so lacking nowadays, where we're like coming together as people in groups to enjoy the things that we love together. And I'm just so excited about these like book events that are happening right now, because it really creates a space for women to um, make new friends, you know,
I agree.
and find, create new tribes, create new groups of people. And the cool thing is you could have multiple groups of people, right? Like you can do just romance, you can do people who like fantasy, you can do the dark romance, which, you know, usually tends to be my what I lean toward. But I think I can't help myself. I know I shouldn't, but I do. You know, I just think this is a really cool thing. I'm really really excited for you for this.
Thank you. I'm just excited to see everybody. I mean, the support and the trust that everyone has put in this event has just been amazing. Such kind, caring people in this community. I know sometimes it's hard to see that. You know, I feel like the stuff that goes viral these days are all negative, but really, truly behind the scenes, everyone involved is just so nice and caring and willing to jump in and help and, you know, ask questions. You know, we have a Discord going for everyone who's attending, and anyone asks a question, they're all like a million people are there to, not literally a million, but you know, a ton of people are there to help answer questions and support each other. And that's really the main thing. I mean, we'll have some debut authors who this will be their first book and they have questions of like, how do I put my booth together? What, you know, what should I prepare for? And that's really what I wanted, because I didn't really find resources like that when I first started, you know, a year ago. It was, or if anything, it was just harder for me to find maybe. And so now I feel like I'm kind of, you know, helping fellow indie authors understand like this isn't just about writing your book, it's about also sharing it with other people in a way that's meaningful and that makes sense, you know, and being able to market it and also go to events like this. So it's been a really, really fun journey thus far.
I love it.
The whole indie author thing is just so cool. Like watching it like blow up the way it has. Like I think it even blew up enough where it was like regular publishers are like, what are we supposed to do? Like
Yeah.
there are people who are doing this on their own. Like how, you know, I think that it kind of threw the whole publishing world upside down a little bit with um the way indie authors kind of were like taking a hold of the reins and just being like, you know what, like we don't need you. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like it
Yeah.
might be hard, it's going to be hard, you know, and everybody wants, I mean, a lot of people want to get picked up, but it still doesn't mean that you can't do it on your own. And I still think there's some people I've watched get picked up and they're so excited, but they still kind of get, they're not top dog, so they get, you know, the attention is still not like put on them. And so the cool thing about indie authors is like you get the control. Like you get to decide how you want your book to be portrayed. You get to decide what your cover looks like. Like you get to make those decisions and it's really empowering. And so I really love the whole like indie author like world, you know?
Yeah, it kind of feels like we're in our own lore, essentially. We're in our own,
Yeah.
because we've broken down this wall or this barrier, it felt like, for
Yep.
the longest time to just find your readers. And now with social media and connecting online and things like that, I mean, I think it's just exploded and it's expanded our world to the point where we can go directly to the reader. And it's just
Yeah.
an amazing experience, because I
So
also feel
cool.
like you have a more personal relationship. Like I have readers who message me all the time, like, oh, I got to this part in this part of the book. And or they get to the very end and they're like, what have you done to me? I can't believe you did this to me. I need the next book. What are you doing? And, you know,
Yeah,
it's just fun interactions with people that I don't know that you would really ever get with traditional publishing, because maybe the connection's just not there online.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally get it. Speaking of connection, where can everybody find you on social media these days?
Right.
Yeah, so just at Canney, so E period L period Canney, Canney, if you need that spelled. It's my husband's last name, so it's mine now, so it's a little weird. Much simpler with my maiden name, but we have a fun name now. Yeah, just look for me TikTok, Instagram. Same thing with like the book convention, and I have a website on both. If you go to my social media pages, though, I have link trees for everything. So if you want to find everything beyond that for more information, you can just go there.
Well, my dear, we are so
Cool.
excited for you. We are so excited for this release. We're so excited for this event.
Cool.
And we wish you all the best. And just, oh, I just can't wait to watch it all unfold.
Thank you so
It's gonna
much.
be
I
fun.
really appreciate you guys having me, and I just love listening to you guys. And I'm so excited for this next chapter and to see you guys in November.
That's it for today's episode on the Blush and Burn Books podcast, where we spread those pages and stir up all the feels. We hope you're walking away with a new book for your TBR, a smile, and maybe a little blush. Don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, and share this episode with your fellow book lovers. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube for even more bookish fun. Until next time, keep those pages turning and stay bookish.